3 years is pretty crazy to be working on one project, one large encompassing title, SGS, that is sort of a giant art portfolio for myself, I guess. It's weird. It's a good feeling to have committed myself to something like this long, after all the hiccups especially. But it really makes you think, with something stationary and so consistent in your life, such as my projects, how inconsistent other things can be in your life. We'll go over all that, but it's all for the better, as change is, well, the only real constant in life. And for many, that's a good thing. I'm one of those people. Hey everyone, I'm Max, and today is the day where I celebrate the 3rd anniversary of Slayer Games Studio as a company. Now, I have a few different things I want to talk about this video. Primarily, new things I'm working on. And I'm gonna say it, I'll spill everything today. This is the video where I spill the beans on all the big stuff I've been working on, all the hoopla that I've been hiding for so long. But I also want to go over what's been going on with me personally, and what's been going on throughout the year, what I've been making, all the things I've been excited about. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. I think I got an ash in my coffee. So, part 1. What I've been doing personally. Well, you probably noticed a major change in scenery and environment over the past year. I've moved into a house, and I'll spare the personal details, but I wake up every day wanting to make the most of the things I'm given, of the comforts that I'm afforded that so many other people aren't. It's such a hot commodity today. And I want to commit myself fully, wholly, to creating experiences for people to enjoy. That being any format. I mean, shoot, I can't tell you how many manuscripts, movie scripts, broken hunks of code for engines that I stopped working in years ago, Twine assets, God, it's crazy to think how many projects I've actually worked on, and how many that I've been too afraid to share because of my fear to share things that are unfinished. Well, that ends today. But first, let's talk about what I've gone over this year. I've had 4 major releases, being 2 booster packs and 2 small-scale games. I've made a pack for Exfil, the Onslaught pack that adds in new monsters and events to the game. A lot of really cool guys. I like the spore bugs. If any of you guys have played yet, I doubt based off the metrics, but you know, I'll pretend you know what I'm talking about. Spore bugs, little enemies that keep spawning on the same card after you place it down until the deck is exhausted. One of my favorite inclusions. New boss fight with the Breacher and the 2 counter operators. God, it's fun. Something to give spice to the game, you know? And I said from the start that I want Exfil to be a legacy project, a lot like Decked. And I'll talk more about that later. It's very important. Secondly, another Decked expansion. Small pack of cards, beggars and choosers. A couple of fun options that aren't strictly built around beating the crap out of your friends and comboing them to death. Things like treaties, triage, cool inclusions there, fun stuff. Thirdly, Tiny Tin Tactics. was a solo tactical game that I made because I wanted to make a Mint 10 game. That was literally the entire inspiration. I was like, how do I make a fun little easy pick up and play dungeon crawly thingy with dice and all that? And screw it. Throw it in a tin, give it some little, a little bit tactical VR mission flair, So that was fun. And I like the whole side story I went off on where I had a debacle with the game crafter and them telling me they can't pack D4s into the tin. I didn't believe them until I got it myself, and they were right. Anyway, project number 4 was the Midnight Ritual, which was a love letter to playground horror stories from my era, from the old internet, creepypastas. I wanted to make a game to capture that vibe. Some liminal spaces, some fun art, creepy vibes. And I was pretty proud of that. Now that we're looking towards the future, I feel that turning this new leaf, going into a new year, it is imperative that I lay out what I want to do and how I'm gonna do it. And I'm excited to have you guys along for the ride. This is where the fun begins. The footage I'm using for filler here is part of a tradition that I do every year. At the top of the year, I draw the logos of every single project I want to work on and hopefully publish by that year's end. So, first off, we're looking at a game called Megastructure. Megastructure is a solo dungeon crawler game that's infinitely expandable. And how am I going to do this, you ask? Well, by making the game free to play and exclusively print on demand. The inspiration comes from video games like Rain World and Kenshi. They're post-apocalypse games where you're among ruins of an old world and you play something other than human. In this game's case, you're a robot exploring the biosphere of this massive concrete jungle, I guess, full of different traps and machines and friendly creatures and all kinds of strange life. Now, this game's going to be built around a tile system, much like Xfil, only in this game's case, the goal isn't to reach the end. The goal is to tell an awesome story while you're alive by upgrading your character, building new and interesting paths, and meeting all kinds of crazy critters, as stated before. Now, secondly, Ruins of Roguewood. This one is currently on my to be announced section on my profile on pretty much everything under my status bar. That's because I've been consistently working on it. Ruins of Roguewood is a very strange project that's gone through multiple iterations. I have 2 videos about it that are basically a different game under the same name, a Hero Quest style adventure game that it's long outgrown. I've decided that format is better suited for something else, something bigger under the same Roguewood name, but for much later. Ruins of Roguewood takes the original draw and draft playstyle and expands on it for a multiplayer format. That's all I'll say for now. I don't want to jinx again. Now, moving on, this is a pretty big one. I've been trying to make a video game for years now, and I've been working in a bunch of pre-made engines that offer some systems with minimal code, requiring a little bit of scripting, but not much else that someone as technically inept as me can handle. And Xfil Clean Sweep is just that. It's a spin-off to the base game of Xfil, where, well, you'll see. There's going to be more about it later. For now, you see me drawing another Xfil logo. That's for the Darkest Sector, which is the final expansion, the true final expansion. It's a story and campaign booster that turns it into a choose-your-own-adventure, multi-staged game, using components from the base game and both expansions. It'll be small, but the number of cards will be insane, and so will the amounts of adventures you and your friends can go on. Next up, this bad boy is called Sunk. I've been workshopping this one since early 2025. It is a survival horror style game built around stress and resource management and minimal combat. You're underwater and you play as a full immersion engineer when a whole base near the Mariana Trench goes completely dark due to unknown reasons. You have to use your technical ability and resource management skills to find your way out alive. No ETA on Sunk, but I'm hoping sometime next year, obviously, since I'm writing it down here. But there's a lot of cool mechanics, including a stress-based dice mechanic that I've been working on for that one. Moving on to the last one, of course, my role-playing game of Branch and Bone. This is my RPG that I've been working on for about 2 years now. Continue working, nothing new on that end. But yeah, hopefully, just hopefully, we can knock a couple of these out next year. Look, I know a lot of these ideas seem far-fetched for one guy, but you also gotta realize I've been working on all these for multiple months now, and building out my own systems related to them. If there's a will, there's a way. Alright, well, that'll do it. How you guys feel? Excited? Worried? Think I'm overzealous in my approach? Nah, not at all. I've been planning this stuff for years, long before SGS. I wanted to do this sort of thing forever. A whole bunch of factors. They've led me to where I am now. I am more free and able to do what I want and how I want. And it's led me to some interesting impasses in my creative struggles, in my journey. I don't know how to put it. But that's all to say that these projects, this work that I'm trying to put in to get these to you, comes straight from the heart. It's something that I feel is worth sharing, as have all my projects been. But sharing this information with you, these new experiences, these new things I want to build, I hope brings a bit of transparency. Now, I hope you guys stuck around for the whole video. I can totally understand if you didn't. It's a bit out of the blue, strange format, but, whatever. It works. It gets a point across to those who actually care. And for those who care, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the video. And checking out my other socials as well. It means the world to me. And I know that numbers don't really matter in the grand scheme of art and emotional impact, which is what I'm really after. I don't mind if I scream into the void for another 3 years before something catches on. I'm just happy that I get some kind of impression. I'm elated by the fact that a few people, no matter how few, have played my games and enjoyed themselves with friends and family and have gotten something out of it. Have maybe seen what I was pushing, Anyway, it's getting late. Fire's going out, and coffee's cold. Later.